Yeah, what's going on, guys? Spartan here on this beautiful summer day, and today we're going to be talking about testosterone versus anabolic steroids in a super short, easy to comprehend video. And we'll be talking about this in comparison both for the pros and versus the cons of each. So I know I've talked about this before, guys, in other videos in the past couple of years, year ago, whatever, but those videos are longer and there's a lot of new people to this channel. So let's do a quick rundown, pros versus cons, and really just let you guys know everything you need to know in a super short video. So guys, Seth Spartan, here we go. All right, guys, first and foremost, what do you need to know when comparing testosterone to anabolic steroids? Leaving out all of the nitty-gritty details, the first thing we got to talk about is the cons. I figure we might as well cover this because it's going to be basically the deciding factor, okay? So cons, let's talk about the cons with regular anabolic steroids when comparing to testosterone. Cons, first biggest con is going to actually, guys, come from the anabolic rating, not the androgenic. A lot of times people get caught up on androgenic effects, androgenic ratings, because a lot of the androgenic effects are super easy to notice. They're quick to set in, and that's primarily what people focus on. You know, things like higher blood pressure, anxiety, insomnia, other things, okay? And those can give us some detriments long term and can cause some problems. But it's actually from the anabolic side, guys, that we're going to get a lot of super negative effects when comparing anabolic steroids with testosterone. What am I talking about by this? Let's assume, you're taking an anabolic, all right? Let's say you're taking an anabolic steroid that has a higher anabolic rating than testosterone. There's tons, and that's most of the reason why people take it. Bodybuilding, fitness, athletics for performance, okay? So anabolics, Anadrol, Winstrol, Ment, Deca, anything, D-ball, anything that has a higher anabolic rating than testosterone, milligram per milligram, you're going to be facing the dangerous, upsetting con of what? Heart wall thickening. Why? Because anytime the anabolic rating is cranked higher than normal testosterone, what's going to be happening? You're speeding up heart wall thickening, okay? So let's just take Anadrol, for example. Anadrol, right? Anabolic rating over 300 compared milligram to milligram up to testosterone. What's going to happen, guys? Milligram per milligram, you're going to be at a much higher, a triple-fold rate for heart wall thickening. I talk about this in other videos where the heart wall muscle itself thickens. Why? Because the heart's a muscle. It's a cardiac muscle versus skeletal muscle, like, biceps, triceps, and everything else, right? So, and that's, the thing is that you take anabolics, what's going to happen? Your muscles are going to get bigger, you're going to get stronger. On the outside, it looks good, but your heart is getting thicker too, and this actually makes it beat less effective. I talk about this in other videos in depth, no need to get into it. So that's problem number one when comparing with the cons. Big con when comparing anabolics to testosterone. Greatly increased drastic risk of heart wall thickening, just because there's so many anabolics with a very high anabolic rating. Okay, that's number one, heart wall thickening. Con number two when comparing anabolics to testosterone is there's a lot of anabolics that exert very strong androgenic effects over that of testosterone. What am I talking about? I'm talking about compounds. There's tons of them, all right? Masteron and many others, which exert, trenbolone, whatever, that exert a much higher androgenic effect than testosterone milligram per milligram. This is what gives, this is a little bit less serious than what we just talked about with the anabolic, but it's still serious. Why? Because, not in the short term and things of, high androgenic can cause anxiety, depression, insomnia, high blood pressure. All these things are bad, but the long-term issue from that is going to be, not only can be kidney strain, kidney damage from what? From having high blood pressure, but also a very negative effect on your cholesterol, lipids. High androgenic profile anabolics absolutely chop up your lipid profile, okay? So anyways, and that's more of a long-term thing. Okay, so we can also talk about orals and everything else on the liver, but there's no need to. This is what you need to know, guys, and this is what we're gonna finish with. Let's talk about, we talked about the cons. Let's talk about the pros. That's what you guys are here for. But again, I wanted to go through the cons first, because if I start with the pros, people just want to exit the video, okay? And we need this information for a super good in-depth comparison. Let's talk about the pros. Testosterone versus anabolic steroids. Here's the answer, guys. Testosterone all day, every day, whether it's muscle mass, strength, or fat loss. Mostly. What do I mean by that? Muscle size. Let's talk about muscle. Milligram per milligram testosterone is not going to give you the most muscle mass increase. Okay? Period. Having said that, testosterone can be utilized by the body at much higher dosages effectively. It's the perfect natural, it's your body's natural anabolic, and it's the body's natural androgen. And we see this. This isn't some bro science that's saying, oh, testosterone can be utilized at higher dosages. No, we see this with things like, and I would argue with studies like the 300 milligram testosterone study, the 600 milligram testosterone study that we did, and how testosterone is, even when doubled, you know, going from 300 to 600 milligrams a week, the body is very, very still absolutely effective at using all that extra testosterone, okay? Amazing, absolutely amazing. And testosterone actually makes your body produce more androgen receptor sites, okay? Other anabolics, I would guess they also do this, but we know testosterone does this amazingly powerfully and efficiently, okay? So muscle mass, testosterone all day, every day. Strength, testosterone all day, every day. Things like halo and other things, yes, they can boost up your strength, but the issue is that long-term, not sustainable. Number two, testosterone, in the same way that your body can utilize higher doses of testosterone, not advising people to do that. Do everything safely, legally, under doctor supervision. I work for Prometheus HRT Testosterone and HGH Replacement Clinic. Having said all of that, guys, in regards to strength, in the same way that muscle mass, your body can utilize more, I would make a solid scientific case, again, based off of what we see with muscle mass, also correlating to strength in terms of the body being able to utilize more testosterone than other compounds, okay? And this is proven by real world results. I don't advise people doing this, but it's pretty much common knowledge by now. You know, I started out as a powerlifter. In powerlifting circles, guys using, you know, 3,000 to 5,000 up to 10,000 milligrams of testosterone are not using that for no reason. They're not doing this in vain. They're doing it because it's the most powerful, efficient way to get monstrously strong, okay, over anything, okay? So there is a huge, incredible performance boost and benefit from using thousands of milligrams of testosterone, okay, over things like halo or tren or all this other stuff. And again, never do this stuff, guys. It's dangerous, but this is what a lot of the strongest powerlifters, and I would assume, I came from powerlifting, I would assume that's what strongmen are doing also. Okay, why? Because it works. It works crazily well. I think that's a new word, but anyways, guys, so let's finish out with fat loss. Now, fat loss, for the most part, it follows the trend, except there's a problem here. Milligram per milligram, there is nothing on this planet that rips off fat like Anavar. Anadrol also does second, but Anadrol and other things, but there's nothing like I've seen in medical studies. Anavar rips off body fat, okay? Incredible, absolutely incredible. Even a study I saw with, I think it was 60 and over males, doctors prescribing it for androgen deficiency, right? You can do that legally in the US, blah, blah, blah. Prometheus can prescribe Anavar as part of your HRT protocol as long as you're healthy, blah, blah, blah. Use my code to save cash if you want to do that. But anyways, let's see here. So in terms of fat loss, okay, anabolics is going to beat out testosterone for fat loss, okay? Do I know exactly why this works? Well, Anavar is what? A DHT derivative. The binding is extremely, extremely high, and we know this from the anabolic ratio or rating. From there, guys, I would pretty much just say that, you know, this is the one thing which, you know, is going to is going to greatly increase fat loss more than testosterone, okay? No matter the dosage. Obviously, if you crank up testosterone and you are controlling for both estrogen and, estrogen, and you don't really need to control DHT, but as long as you're controlling for estrogen on testosterone, what's going to happen, you're going to have great fat loss too. But we already know that, because Anavar is a DHT derivative, and because of the molecular structure and the studies and the anabolic binding, there's nothing on this planet that rips off fat like Anavar, okay? So, I mean, it's going in the direction of being efficient like HGH in that regard, okay? So, high dose of testosterone, yes, fat loss, but things like Anavar and other similar compounds, you can't touch it, okay? So, all day, every day, summarizing things for you guys. What is better? What is superior? Testosterone all day, every day. Again, I'm doing 250 milligrams per week of testosterone through the clinic I work for, Prometheus HRT. You can, do that, HGH replacement, whatever you want, as long as you're healthy. Use my referral code. But guys, at the end of the day, you make your own decisions. And I would just advise everybody to, if you're going to use anabolics, well, first, I would not recommend that, just because of the things I told you about with heart wall thickening. Heart wall thickening is the biggest one. But if you're going to use anabolics, please, low dosage, short term, legally under doctor supervision, and all of that stuff. But guys, Seth Spartan, stay safe, stay healthy. Testosterone is king and will be king as far as I am concerned, pretty much forever. And guys, we are out of here. Enjoy the beautiful day.